What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Shred Show live with me, Josh Pitts, and my very special guest, Virgie Van Hurst. And she's joining me. We had a little bit of technical difficulty this morning trying to get on, but we're going to be getting into that here in just a second because Virgie herself is getting into the streaming world. She's a newer real estate agent, and I'm so excited to be talking with her this morning. So, Virgie, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for being willing to be patient with the technical difficulties we had, and welcome to the Shred Show.
Josh, thank you so much. Your energy is off the hook. Seriously, you shred it every single day.
Well, we're all about shredding here at Shred. So whenever we get the opportunity, you know we're going to do it. But thanks for joining us. I know you're on the road, you're traveling, and it's so great to have you here with us this morning. And I want to get into this week, we've been talking about social media, and you are quickly becoming one of the absolute dominations in the game. But before we get way too much into that, for those who don't know, Fergie, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in real estate? Why social media? So start with that.
Well, to be honest with you, I am an entrepreneur at heart. I'm an internet marketer and a web developer. I've been doing that since '97. That's how long I've been on the internet. I just aged myself live. I don't know why I did that. But I've been on the internet for a really, really long time. And I actually was in the Forex markets, and I built brands for Forex currency markets. And we actually built the very first automated trading robot. So you're thinking, well, how does this go into real estate? Well, I was making a lot of money at that time, like tons of it, money hand over fist. And I bought my first property in 2006.
Wow.
Yes. Okay, so I have a trader mindset, but I did not purchase my property with that trader mindset. I literally just bought my dream house and, parked my two Beamers in there and like moved to Europe and was like, came back. At the end of 2007, the markets were really getting weird. 2008, my house is $600,000 underwater. I'm like going, wow, that was a huge mistake. And I understand the markets. I'm always following them, but I didn't use that for myself. So I got into real estate at that time. It was like 2010. To understand investing. So when I got into real estate, I was going to make sure I was going to buy that dream home. I was going to buy that investment property. So that was really my goal, was for me personally. And then I kind of got into real estate. I did a favor for an attorney friend of mine, which was a strategic short sale at the time. And then After that, he gave me my first deal, which was a probate. And then that started everything. I went to my Century 21 office and I said, I have probate. And he's like, probate? We haven't done probates in 20 years. I don't even know what to do with it. It's complicated. I can't help you with that. I was like, well, this is what I'm going to take it and I'm going to run with it. And I did, and I owned it. And then, my husband is a geek too. And I told him, I was like, hey, how can we get more of these probate leads? I know this is public data. And he just started scraping all those leads. And I started referring them out to agents. And then it wasn't working being an agent with a broker. So that is what prompted me to become a broker, is because I had all these leads, and it was just kind of an evolution. But I was really, really scared to make that move. But sometimes you got to do something to grow.
That's awesome. So you found a niche. I mean, you truly found a niche, and you really went into that niche. And so do you still do those? Is that your main source of business, or?
I do, and I have. In fact, a lot of the deals that I get organically are all from the leads that I've got from there. It's the probates, trust. It's through my relationship with attorneys that I've developed. Brokerage, 100% commission brokerage in 2000, because I had all these leads. And my idea was like, great, I'll do 100% commission brokerage, and I'll refer these leads to my agents at 80-20 split. So I'm still at an 80-20 split, but the problem is that the lead took a lot of time to cultivate. And I was really good at it. And some realtors can be very lazy. They really want me just to hand them a listing.
Imagine realtors are lazy. No, that can't be true, right? That's not true at all. No offense to all you real estate agents, but
I was dropping 50 and nobody was doing it. So that I was just a lot of work and misalignment with partners. So then I did my own boutique thing, because I really do think that it's all about personal branding. And you said something about niches, and I've always been about niches, because if you get into an area that's very saturated, the only way to be noticed is to find that niche. And it's the same thing with personal branding. So So it's all about the niches, really. I even
all
got another niche called block.
Nice. Nice. And those, we've had a couple of comments. Yes. So Virgie is in a hotel and she's actually, the Wi-Fi, it looks like it's a little bit spotty. So we've had a couple of people like, hey, it's going in and out. I can hear you just fine, but guys, you'll have to bear with us. Like I said, you got to love, everybody see me do it from hotel Wi-Fi. Hotel Wi-Fi is one of those, you just never know how it's going to be. So, but she's doing great. And somebody commented the cameraman's finger is on the camera, which good job, cameraman. You're doing a great job. That's why we love live, ladies and gentlemen. And that's actually what I want to get into next, because you and I have been having conversations. You just got approved for LinkedIn Live. Congratulations.
Dude, I know, right? I feel honored, actually, because I know not everybody has it. So I need to be as good as you guys are with this so I can actually bring real value.
Well, you are right now. And so let's talk about your experience, because you've recently started doing live on, and you kind of have, you were texting me yesterday, like, hey, I'm trying to go live. It's not working. What do I do? How do I do this? But what I love is that you're actually doing it. Like you're not making excuses. You're not worried about it. It's not perfect. You're just out there doing it.
That's the truth. And you actually, it was your post because I got live and you're like, Verge, let's go live. I'm like, yeah. But then like, I was like, doo. And then I saw your thing, like, don't make excuses. It don't have to be perfect. He's right. You're talking to me. I was like, that's it, Josh. I'm doing it. We're going live this week. So thank you. You guys are an inspiration. You guys every day. You and Jason, I love you guys. Thank you so much for doing what you do for us.
You are too kind. And that's why we do every single day. That truly warms my heart. Give me goosebumps this morning, because that's what we do. We love to help people find that, get over that fear, because there's so many great people like yourself who have this incredibly powerful voice and this, you're a leader, you're an influencer, and we need more incredible people like yourself who are willing to put themselves out there. So kudos to you. Huge shout out to you. So let's dive into this as a realtor. I mean, if you don't know her, if you don't follow her on LinkedIn, she's Virgie Van Horst, the badass realtor, which is awesome. I mean, talk about really separating yourself from the masses here. But how has social media really benefited you? And right now, are you really focused more on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn? Where do you really focus your efforts right now?
When I started with Facebook. That was the first thing. I was like, I have no friends. I need friends. And I literally only started branding last year, this same time. It's only been a year that I've actually put myself out there. What started it is I went to my kid's school and there was a lady there and she's like, oh yeah, we just sold our house. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I do real estate. She's like, oh, I had no idea. And I left pit. I went, that is the last time somebody doesn't know what I do. I'm not the type of person that's like really in your face. But I was like, there's got to be a way where I could let people know what I'm doing. So I decided to go, I'm going to practice what I preach and I'm going to start owning my brand. So I was like, nice. How do I get more friends? So we just did that, collaborated together, just started strategically working Facebook. Within a month was up to 5,000 and that was awesome. And now it's like, yeah, so that we're pretty, it's just, you have to be very strategic about it, diligent. It's work. And if you put your mind to something, you can make it happen. And then I was doing really great there. And then I got into LinkedIn. LinkedIn was interesting for me because it was the first time I ever put together a resume, because I've been self-employed for so long. It was really great because, as individuals, we take what we do for granted a lot. And when I did LinkedIn, doing that resume, I was like, whoa, I did a lot of stuff. I felt, you got to give yourself props. You got to pat yourself on the back sometimes and celebrate the little progresses. So that was my first video on LinkedIn. And I started getting a lot more engagement there. And I think it's just because it's a newer platform. I know there's like 600 million people on LinkedIn and only 3% are content. And only 1% of those are creating video content. And that's a very small percentage. So I've really been all in on LinkedIn, but I've been tagging LinkedIn and Facebook in tandem. I do Twitter, I do Instagram just because I post to there, but I haven't figured out the code on those. Chelsea is the Insta girl. I have to pick her brain some more.
Chelsea Pites is absolutely brilliant when it comes to Instagram stories. She's the queen of it. But I love that you knew what space you wanted to work in. Facebook, that's where you were like, hey, you're comfortable with that. I'm going to start there. You did really great there. And then you said, hey, now that I'm doing here, I kind of got this thing figured out. Now I can start dabbling in these in LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is one of those really cool platforms. LinkedIn, we're actually talking about more in depth tomorrow morning. And LinkedIn is one of those that same thing. There wasn't when I've been on LinkedIn for years and years and years, but it was kind of always that like, oh, people are trying to spam me to recruit me, especially as in mortgage and real estate. People are trying to recruit me or spam me. And to this day, I still get people like when somebody spams me a long message, like for a friend request or like a connection request, I message them back. This is not the way to do it. Please stop. You're damaging your reputation. Like, please don't do that. Like, I understand you want to grow your business, but that's not the way to do it. But you mentioned something that's key is less than 3%. I think I heard a new statistic that it's continually growing, but it's about 6% of people are actually putting out content. But this is crazy. The number that you said is only 3% of them are putting out original content. That's the key. Is a lot of people are like they're taking content from other people and posting it, but original content. That's why live is being. That's why you're seeing your engagement and your views and everything with live go through the roof because it's original. You can't copy anybody. You can't be the Jay Shetty of LinkedIn, unfortunately. So.
You can't. And the thing is when you try to do that, it shows. It shows you're not authentic. You have to lean into your strengths. And that is the only way that you can show up daily. Because if I had to put on a mask and, put on like I'm putting on a show, it takes a lot of effort to do that. When you're like real, people connect to that. There's so much fakeness in the world. And you always say, you're like, don't be perfect, be authentic and just be real. And it's okay to make mistakes. And I think it's those mistakes and those imperfections that actually make people go, oh, well, she's like me. Do that. And I think that is really important. I think that's why, when you create that video, why I call myself a badass. I do that because it was a model. It was a thing I would say to myself to give myself that inner strength, that inner confidence. Because being a badass when everything is great, well, that's easy. But being a badass when things are against you and you still show up and you still rise above, that to me is a badass. And you're having a bad day or when things are uncomfortable and you get up and rise, that's the badass in you. We all have that. It's that inner self-confidence, not cocky ego, but that thing that makes you, even on a bad day, still get up and shred it.
Yes, I love it. And it is. Every single one of us have it inside of us. We've just got to find it. And what I love is you have just made we talked about transparency, being genuine, being authentic. You are you on camera. You are energetic. You don't really care what other people like. Hey, I'm going to go on camera. I'm in my hotel room today. I'm traveling. Like, this is where I'm going to do it from. You didn't go and find some perfect set or some perfect background. You just like, hey, I'm live here in my hotel room. We're doing it here. And this is great. Which that especially for real estate agents, because we've seen so many realtors recently, like in a world of filters and of edits and of this and that, like real estate agents are missing the boat when it comes to using live, when it comes to doing authentic and genuine, transparent stuff, because they're still trying to do all the filter stuff. They're so used to taking pictures of houses and then going in and edit those houses to make them look perfect. Like that's not what people want. People love seeing the real you. People love seeing not the perfect makeup. That's why Chelsea, you mentioned Chelsea Pye. It's like Chelsea is so phenomenal at that on Instagram stories because like it doesn't have to be perfect. She's just doing it.
And she's raw. And if she will come on with no makeup and hair messed up, and I love that. I love that because then I'm like, if she's always so perfect all the time, you're like, oh my God, I could never compete with that, But when she comes on, like I love it when like she's in Vegas, she's like, look at my hair, I still have yesterday's makeup on. I was like, oh, she's so cool. So it's really that authenticity and finding your niche, really, because you never know. I mean, it's people are afraid to offend other people. That's what it is. They're afraid to be judged. And you know what? We're being judged every single day. So why not be judged for who you are? And if you hear your own voice long enough to get everybody else's voice, all that judgment, all that noise completely clear out of your head, and all you hear is you, then you know what's right for you and you know what fuels you, and you got to do the things that keep making you feel good. And that's what I do. I love doing video. I don't do video because yes, I'm strategic, but if this was hard for me to do, this wouldn't work for me. This works for me because I love it.
And you literally just said something like, I almost want to like mic drop on that, because that was literally like, you love doing this. There are so many people that are asking me like, well, Josh, I don't love to do social media. Then, you may not have to love to do social media, but you probably love what you do. And now it's just capturing that. And that's what I tell people is they're like, well, I don't love social media. And my first thing is like, but you love what you do, right? Like you're passionate about what you do. Well, yeah. Well, then you just have to get over your fear of capturing that because people are watching you do it every single day. The people in your office, the people that you're working with, they're actually watching, you're interacting with those people. So now you just have to get over that fear of sharing with the world because a lot of people think building a brand, what you're doing so perfectly, Verge, is you're building this brand, you're building this awareness, and now you have the opportunity to serve others through your brand. And that's where people miss it is like, no, you're not doing it to be self-serving. You're not to be like, look at me, look at me. You're doing it to broaden that audience, to help others. And that's why it's like, that's what a brand is all about. And you are doing it so well. And I'm so proud of you. And I love that you're willing to ask questions.
Thank you. Yeah, well, you have to. There are no stupid questions. That's just the way it is. You have to ask questions and you have to get uncomfortable.
Yes. If you're not uncomfortable, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. If you do that, you're going to do incredible things just like you have. And like I said, it's so much fun to watch you as you continue to grow as a real estate agent. So let's end with this. I know we've taken a little bit more of your time than I expected this morning. I'm so sorry, but let's talk about what would you, for those who are, I love my daily challenge. Used to do a lot of daily challenges. So for those who are watching this, again, you gave us an incredible comment. We've inspired you. So what's something you would challenge people to do? What's something you would inspire people to do from Verge? What's the one thing that Badass Realtor is going to challenge them to do today?
To start looking at things, to start saying yes to more things, to getting uncomfortable and putting yourself out there authentically. Honestly, guys, go out today right now and just do a 2-minute video. Just a 2-minute video going, hey guys, this is me and this is what I'm all about. And just do it and just be a dork, be goofy, be fun, have fun with it, have a way to get enjoyment out of it. Because if you're not enjoying it, it's not going to work. So find a way to have fun with it and make it your own.
I love make it your own, have fun with it. Great little challenge. Just go do it. We've given those challenges in the past, but one of my favorite things that when I had the opportunity to interview Gary Vaynerchuk, excuse me, was I asked him, I said, does it ever bug you? Because we're saying the same things. If you listen to what me and Jason say, what Verge is saying, we say the same things, but when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Verge she is the teacher this morning. She's teaching guys how to do it. So we cannot thank you enough for joining us this morning. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. You are incredible.
Thanks, you guys. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Josh. You guys are, I appreciate you. Take care, guys.
All right. Appreciate you. Enjoy your trip. Be safe. And guys, as always, we appreciate you. Love you. Make sure you show up, you hustle, repeat every day, just like Virgie. Thanks, guys.